Nikola MILENKOVIC, he has made a rather encouraging start to his time at Nottingham Forest and in English football, winning last month's Player of the Month award for Nottingham Forest, and at only £12 million looks already to be one of the bargains of the season. And I think already has become a bit of a fan favourite, and early impressions is he is going to be integral, and already has been integral to Nottingham Forest's early success in the Premier League this season. His arrival has made our centre-backs genuinely some of the strongest in the Premier League in terms of pairing. Maybe not overall quality, I'm not going to be deluded about that, but in terms of pairing, so far this season, they have got the second best defence in the Premier League right now. Having already had Murillo on our back line, adding in MILENKOVIC makes us even stronger, so no wonder we're doing well. But before we talk about MILENKOVIC at Nottingham Forest, let's go back a bit. So MILENKOVIC came through the OFK Zarkovo Academy as a youngster and would end up joining a rather big club in Serbia in Partizan Belgrade. Now, I think the writing was on the wall for MILENKOVIC from a very young age, because Partizan Belgrade are not a Real Madrid of football, but they are by far one of the very biggest clubs in Serbia, along with Red Star Belgrade. I think everybody knows about that very intense rivalry between those two. MILENKOVIC, as of very recently, was quoted to say, "I'm not scared of Anfield, I have played in the Belgrade derby." I can see why. I can see why you're not scared of Anfield. It is quiet normally. Now, around the age of 15, MILENKOVIC would have been one of 30 youngsters to potentially be enrolled into the Partizan Academy. Only 5 qualified, and MILENKOVIC was one of them. At the age of 15, he was already standing out and joining one of the biggest clubs in Serbia, undoubtedly. He would go on to play 44 times and score 4 goals for Partizan in his time at the club, but before he actually joined their first team, he would be loaned to now third-tier Serbian side, Teleoptic. I do hope I'm saying these names correctly. I have genuinely tried to not offend anyone. But of course, he was already catching a lot of attention, even at a young age, even playing in the Serbian division. And it was only a matter of time before a club from the Big 5 league was going to come calling for him. And that was in 2017, when Fiorentina came in for him. But again, a very small fee. When you consider how much Forest paid for him, only €5 million at the time for MILENKOVIC. So he just has a history of being bought for basically nothing. In his time at the club, 7 seasons, playing 264 games for the Italian club, scoring 17 goals from centre-back, which is very impressive. He would help them back into European competition. Of course, it's quite well known that they have reached back-to-back Conference League finals in the last couple of seasons, and they've lost both. But MILENKOVIC played a key part in both of those journeys. Of course, losing to 2 clubs that he does have a bit of a connection to, another English club in West Ham, and Marinakis as one of his many teams in Olympiakos. Of course, it's worth mentioning that MILENKOVIC has played 59 times for Serbia, scored 3 goals, as of very recently captained the Serbian national team, and has played every minute available for Serbia when they got knocked out all 3 times in the group stages, but point still stands, every minute at World Cup 2018, 2022 and the Euros this year, which is quite impressive. And it was at this stage where MILENKOVIC would join Forest for a fee of reportedly 12 million, which again is nothing in today's market. So now he's at Forest, of course, and he's had the most amazing start and has made an already decent defence look amazing, and I think deservedly so. I think MILENKOVIC is one of the reasons why our away record has been particularly improved. Now, it isn't just MILENKOVIC, the arrival of Alex Moreno, the continuous improvement and impressive performances of Ola Aina and Nico Williams, and then obviously Murillo next to him. Then you consider the other centre-backs that we've got. It really is quite surreal that we've got such strong centre-back depth. Now, so far this season, despite how impressive he's been, he's not actually been booked, which is quite rare for a centre-back, even after a few games, to have not been booked, because they're always going to be risking themselves is what their job is in a football match. However, it's worth pointing out that in Italy, and I'm not sure if it's the different sort of style of football, the reason for it, I would have thought it would have been more in the Premier League because it's a more physical league than Italy. He was actually booked 50 times in the 264 appearances and sent off 6 times, only 3 of them being direct red cards. So, is it just a matter of time? Has Milenkovic learnt lessons? I don't know. Is it just a change of culture? I'm not sure, but I just think that's it's quite a lot, really, isn't it? But Milenkovic now, at the age of 27, already has a lot of experience behind him, but also plenty of years left ahead of him as well. But as I said, captained the Serbian national team recently, multiple times, not a lot, but a few times did captain Fiorentina. I think it's only a matter of time that he's going to end up being our captain at some point when Yates or Morgan Gibbs-White aren't on the pitch. I think he's probably one of the go-to options. But he's a very physical defender, very calm on the ball, very measured with what he does, very good in the air. He always seems to know exactly where to be at exactly the right moment. His positioning is always spot on. Having watched back multiple games, which I'm going to show you in a moment, that was his background. Let's take a look at how he's done so far this season in a bit more detail. But I'm going to be a lot more careful with this because the last time I did a analysis video, it didn't go very well because it got took down for about 10 hours. And then that basically killed the video momentum. So I'm going to be a lot more careful, hence why I'm using a lot more screenshots. So let's take a look at his assist against Chelsea. This was already pre-planned because earlier in this game, Ward-Prowse was attempting to get the ball to Milenkovic, and then it didn't happen. But here, it worked perfectly. And then Chris Wood is in the perfect place, as he so often is. So it was a long ball up from Ward-Prowse. And then, obviously, Milenkovic, right place, right time, into the path of Wood. I will actually show you the goal here, because it just kind of has to be shown. So that was a great bit of play from Milenkovic. Right place, right time. He knew exactly what was going to happen there, and brought the ball down brilliantly. Now, here, a lot of clips like this or screenshots like this, he properly doesn't let the ball out of his sight here. So I think it's Sancho on the ball, I think, and before you know it, he's come charging in, ends up winning the ball back. There's another example here in terms of video. I couldn't really show you that because the screenshot would have been about 2 pixels if I'd done that. But this one, again, just comes barging in, a bit reckless at times, but he does it in such a cultured way, if you know what I mean. He doesn't do it where he's risking danger as such. Again here, this sums him up. Proper getting stuck in, bringing the ball down. That's obviously not that far to go to Willy Bolly, but bringing the ball down, again, heading here. It's such a great jumping reach, by the way. And this is also a great example as well. It's, the ball isn't even actually with him at the moment. He goes and presses the ball, wins it back before Borussia can get there, heads it towards himself, and then just clears it away. Here's another example of clearing the ball. And I just want to point out how he's actually doing it. Notice how he's doing it. I'm going to put it up again. It's like this side of the foot sort of thing, where, he's not just like composing the ball, stopping it. First time clearance, which is good, but most players would normally just kick it as if they're shooting almost in that sort of action. I hope you understand what I mean. Basically, right, he's doing this. Ball coming in, and it's like that sort of thing, I'm not sure if that's going to go in or not. But I just find it amazing how he clears the ball like that. He's done it twice, and it always seems to go exactly where he wants it to go. Side of the foot clearance is such a cultured way of clearing the ball. Again here, intercepting the ball well before it comes even near him. Misplaced pass, make sure he gets there. I mean, if he misses it, he's leaving a big gap. But also, if he doesn't go there, it's a clear run for the Southampton player. You look at this one as well, ball in, immediately comes charging in, making himself known. Listen, that's my ball, you leave it alone. That's what he's saying. And this is just great defending, just making himself big and very difficult. I'll actually show you this because it just looks better. Yeah, just a great bit of defending. Again there, looks a little bit reckless against Chelsea, this one of course, but again won the ball. Here, making himself big and difficult to get past, ends up winning the ball back. I'm just such a big fan of Milenkovic, so please get your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of Nikola MILENKOVIC? Because I think he has potential, huge potential. There's even a story very recently that Newcastle United are interested in him. I can see why they want one of our players, because we did give them Demos for 20 million, so they probably are kicking themselves for that. But can you just politely, go away, Newcastle, leave Elanga, alright? You leave Milenkovic alone, because they're ours. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to Rads if you're new, and I'll see you soon, everyone. Thank God football's back this weekend, or it's technically next week, so I don't play till Monday. So that's great, but just so happy that club football's back before the next international break. But you know what I mean. Hope you enjoy this, everyone. Up the Reds.